Ward's been fighting Scientology since the 80s, and he has won over 20 cases against the Church of Scientology.
I successfully represented Lawrence Wollersheim. Scientology recruited Larry in 1969 in San Francisco. He was a member for about 10 years. When Wollersheim was assigned to do upper-level training, it was to the ship called the Excalibur, and he had ethics problems, discipline problems, and was assigned to the Rehabilitation Project Force, which is Scientology jargon for prison. When Wollersheim was assigned to the RPF, he was put in the hold of the ship, was made to work and study 19 hours a day. The work involved employing a toothbrush to scrub the hold of the ship, and was made to sleep in circumstances that were 30 people, 9 deep. That caused a psychological break in him, and he became terrified, believed he was going to die, knew he was going crazy, and attempted to flee.
They censor the phone calls. You're not allowed to speak to anyone who's critical. There was no way for anyone to reach me.
So in 1980, he sued Scientology for everything that he could.
And what's really significant about his case is he was literally suing over the technology. He was saying Scientology auditing is harmful. He sued over Scientology itself and won.
Former Sea Org member Lawrence Wollersheim won a multi-million-dollar judgment against the church. An appeals court judge wrote that while in the RPF, Wollersheim had been forced to undergo a strenuous regime that lasted 19 hours a day. When he tried to escape the RPF, the judge wrote, several Scientology members seized Wollersheim and held him captive.
We were able to actually collect $8.7 million from Scientology.
Ford, what was Miscavige's quote, not one thin dime for
Not one thin
Wollersheim?
dime for Wollersheim.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what
Wasn't
people
gonna
were
pay.
chanting.
The organization encircled the courthouse in Central LA, and that was the chant, not one thin dime for Wollersheim. So it was really satisfying when we were able to collect a lot of thin dimes for Wollersheim.
Sure, exactly.
That was
Yes.
great. I have personally been fair gamed by Scientology in the following ways. They ran a guy in to befriend me who took photographs of my files, my Rolodex, the weed I had in my icebox. Scientology generated 6 state bar complaints, going to opposing counsel in order to sabotage my cases and suing me individually. That's the quick rundown.
Okay.
There is nothing like this, where there is an organization that has these incredibly incriminating documents that show exactly what it is that it's supposed to be doing.
And that they adhere to.
And that,
Right.
that they follow.
Right.
And then go, "Oh, but you're not allowed to ask." If you start delving into that, you're delving into our First Amendment religious beliefs, and you're forbidden to get involved in
That's
that.
how we kicked their ass in Wollersheim, because that's, as you know, the ecclesiastical defense. What the idea is there's a separation between church and state. Scientology's position is that you, plaintiff's lawyer and judge, can't look at our policies. Obviously, because as soon as somebody looks at their policies, they're sunk, because their policies are just so outrageous that nobody could ever imagine something so evil. So the way I did it was I said, listen, just take its religious claim and put it to the side. And imagine, if you will, that what's in front of you is the mafia. And David Miscavige is the boss of the mafia. If that was the situation, would you want to insulate the mafia from judicial scrutiny of what their policies are, And whether or not the implementation of those policies in this particular discrete instance was so uniform and so universal that Judge Hess agreed, that was how we breached the church-state gaming the system.